on, guys? You're watching the CT Outdoorsman. It is Friday, June 16th. It is right around noon. Here today to talk to you guys about summer shooting tips and kind of my setup and my goals for this upcoming season. But basically, we're going to stick right around summer shooting tips. So probably the first thing that I'm going to talk about is just target selection. So a lot of guys have always have the questions, you know, what kind of targets are best, 3D targets or regular bag targets, block targets. The answer to that is really any of them. There's a lot of companies out there that make a good quality target and that have them at relatively reasonable prices. I'll call them. I've used a lot of different targets, and now I'm on. Went back to a basic kind of a block target, but this is the one I'm going to be using today, and hopefully through the rest of my season here. But so this is the Reinhardt XL target. It's got 6 shootable sides, so it's got that side there, that side there, that side there, that one, which is a deer torso, as you can see, and then it's got a another deer torso on the other side, but it's kind of more of a 3D look to it. So this is the target that I'm going to be using, but there are a bunch of other targets out there. So really it's whatever you want to use, and it should work. So for me personally, shooting is something, or shooting, practicing, whatever you want to call it, is something that I actually like to do every day. You know, you read some things and guys will say that, oh, shooting every day is bad. It can mess with your head, mess with your form, all sorts of stuff. And that's probably true. But I mean, for me, this is something that I enjoy doing and something that I really think helps me stay calm throughout the day. But so the other thing I want to talk about with summer shooting is don't get in a set pattern. So you'll see guys will shoot at fixed distances every day, and I mean, I'm guilty of it. I like to shoot at 30, 40, 50 yards every day, 20 arrows each spot, and feel good about myself hitting the bullseye, when in reality, especially in a hunting situation, that's rarely ever going to happen, where you're going to either have a distance marked or be able to range an animal and it's going to be exactly that distance. So something that I like to do is just set up at random yards and use my eyes and kind of figure out where the target is and use my best guess, set my sight to that, and then shoot. So, and that's definitely something where fixed pin sights can really have a benefit, because you can kind of label yourself kind of in between 2 pins kind of thing. But for someone like me, who this year I'm shooting the HHA Kingpin, as you guys can see, it's a single pin sight, and I got it mounted up on my halon here. But it's a fixed pin sight, or not fixed pin, it's a single pin sight that's movable. So all I have to do is just turn this knob here, loosen that, and then the dial, which is right there, moves up and down to different distances, and as you can see, moves the sight housing up and down. So depending on how far out something is, will depend on what what the dial's set to. But so in a hunting situation, I probably won't have the time to laze a deer or laze a deer and set my dial to that specific yardage without it moving, without the deer moving. So practicing at different distances and unknown distances is something that is definitely preferred to do. Now, when you're doing that, and you're finding yourself, you're not very comfortable shooting at 25, 30 yards, now that's generally a max distance for a bow hunter, at least for whitetails, especially here in the Northeast, in Connecticut. The longest shot I have is maybe 40 yards, maybe. So another tip that I like to do, or another practice technique, is shoot at longer distances. So those shorter distances end up being basically chip shots. So say for instance 30, 40 yards is my max shot. I'll back up to 60, 70 yards sometimes. And then if I can hit consistently at that distance, then when I come back up to 30 yards, it's a chip shot. Now, obviously you're not going to hit a $50 sized bullseye at 70 yards with all your arrows. I mean, you might. I mean, if you do, join a pro archery tour or something, because that's really good. For someone like me, if I can hit one of those paper plates at 70 yards, I'm happy with that. I'm good with that. And then so that's something that I'll do, is I'll back up to 60, 70 yards and shoot and shoot at the target. And I might miss the plate maybe a couple times, but you get comfortable, and when you get comfortable shooting at that distance, right when you go up to 40, 30 yards, that target, that bullseye that's this big, looks a heck of a lot bigger, and it's a lot easier to hit. So those are kind of the things that I like to do with just basic tips, basically when you're shooting. Other things I like to do is kind of go back and just check the tuning on your bow. So the tuning really is walk back tuning, broadhead tuning. You can French tune if you want. It's kind of like what it's basically another version of walk back tuning. And other guys, a lot of people paper tune. I don't have the luxury of being able to paper tune, so I'm kind of at a disadvantage there. But I like to walk back tune and French tune, and then when it gets closer to seasonal, broadhead tune. But I'll probably make videos in the future about not broadhead tuning, walk back tuning and French tuning. I already have a video on broadhead tuning, but I think I want to redo that one. Figure it out. Let me know in the comments below if you want me guys to make those videos or redo them. But so yeah, so I'm gonna take a couple shots here, and then I'm gonna kind of talk about the changes to my setup that I've made for this upcoming season, and what my plans are. So here we go. Alright, so I didn't want to bore you guys with too much video of me shooting my bow. But so now I'm just going to kind of talk about my plans for this upcoming season, things that have changed for me, and moving forward, what my plans are. So as you guys know, so last year I really only posted the one hunt from September, which was my doe harvest, and that was really the only action that I had all season. It was a very slow season. Something that my dad and I recognized is that the deer move out of the area basically at the end of the rut. So from the end of November through December, there aren't really a lot of deer on this on our piece of private property that is right behind our house here. I did have a run-in with my target buck junior on November, I want to say 11th. He came out of a bedding area, and I had him at 47 yards, I think, but there was just too much brush, and I grunted at him, but I couldn't get him to come in and try and investigate. But so that was really all the action. So kind of going forward, my plans for this year haven't really changed a whole lot, but I think I'm gonna try and hunt more strategically. So early season, I've kind of got a pattern of how the deer like to move, and I should be able to get a doe down early, and maybe even a buck if I can get a good one patterned. But then come October and basically, so the end of September kind of through October, I'm going to kind of let things lay low, you know, not hunt as much. Don't get me wrong, I'll go in and hunt this area if the wind is right, and if there's a cold front or something pushing through. I'll definitely go in and hunt, you know, but I'll kind of stick to the fringes where I know deer have traveled before, but I won't go into my hotspot until the rut, because I really think I have a path where these deer are pegged, where I know that they cross in and out, especially during the rut, because last year I watched Junior cross that spot, and then 30 minutes later a little spike came and walked the exact same spot. So I definitely think it's a key area, and I want to stay out of there until the time is right. Other things, we have permission on a friend of my dad's, a guy he worked with for a long time. We have permission on his property. It's a beautiful piece of property. It backs right up against the state forest. That does allow hunting, but we kind of have a access to it that nobody else has. So definitely be some public land there, and then there's another public land spot that I want to try out this year. So I'm going to be trying to hunt some public land. I'll see how that goes. I've never really hunted public land before, and so I'll probably try and get out scouting it this sometime soon here. It's going to be hard because as you guys can tell around me, a lot of all the foliage is back in, and things are green, so it's going to be hard. But other things that I've changed up my release. So last year I was shooting index style release. First I had the True Fire, but then that kind of failed on me, so I got a hot shot release. That one I loved it. I still have it, but I wanted to get more accuracy out of it, and so I went with the True Ball Fang 4, right? Is that right there? Fang 4. It's a thumb style release, and it doesn't come with this orange cord. I actually did that myself, because it doesn't come with a cable anyway. But so basically that just hooks right onto the D loop, and then you close that, and you could be able to hang the release right off your bow. I didn't really feel comfortable with that, so I just took a piece of paracord, kind of tied a self-tightening knot on it, and then a knot at the end, and was able to stick it through where the trigger adjusts at, and then so I kind of, I can hang it from my hand, and I just feel more comfortable with it that way. As you guys saw, back on my bow, which is actually over there, I am shooting the HHA Kingpin. It's just the regular mounting system. I don't have the tournament style with the dovetail, but I'm really excited about that sight. I really think it's gonna be a big game changer for me. But so yeah, things it's the off season, so you know I gotta try and keep myself busy. But yeah, so this is kind of the overview. Kind of touching back on summer tips and stuff. You know, get out and practice. Don't let your bow sit there for too long. And you know, practice at different distances, practice at unknown distances, practice at long distances, and tune your bows. There's a lot of good videos out on YouTube about how to tune your bow, how to walk back tune, paper tune, French tune, broadhead tune. Whatever you're doing, get out and do it, because it'll only make you better. So I appreciate you guys watching. You know, kind of a thing, if you guys have followed me on social media, is you know, I've been using the hashtag always ready, and that's something that has really stuck with me, especially through working with my dad and playing sports in college, is that you always have to be ready to go. And I definitely think that has a lot to say in archery and hunting itself. I mean, you always want to be ready. You always want to have your equipment ready. You always want to have your gear ready, just everything ready to go. So always stay ready, guys. And you know what, introduce someone new to the outdoors, whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, anything. Get them outside, because we have a beautiful world out here, and it is definitely something that we need to share with people. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys right back here on the next video.